Illinois today selected another 55 winners from a pool of 589 qualifying applicants seeking to open cannabis dispensaries. It's another step on a long-delayed process of growing Illinois' marijuana market with a mind towards social equity. But is it working? Amanda Vinicky joins us now. Amanda, is it?
Well, Paris, first of all, marijuana is a hot commodity. Sales have soared since recreational pot was legalized in Illinois in January of 2020. And then last month, marijuana was the most popular that it's ever been.
The state hit another record, reaching $128 million in sales in July. I'd say that's relatively unsurprising given the fact that we had more out-of-state purchasers due to Lollapalooza here in Chicago. But on top of that, we've seen really strong demand in Illinois since the market opened at the beginning of 2020. So again, we monitor all the states, and what we've seen is that Illinois has one of the largest markets for legal recreational cannabis in the country.
Now, Andrew Miller is based in Chicago, but as you heard, his firm analyzes marijuana markets across the nation. He says Illinois' market could be stronger still. He found that in Illinois, there's one cannabis dispensary for every 117,000 people. Now, in contrast, Michigan, where cannabis was legalized at about the same time as it was here, there's one pot shop for every 32,000 residents, and that is not for lack of demand. His research also found that dispensaries in Illinois are spread out enough that 1 in every 5 residents has to travel about 40 minutes round trip to buy marijuana legally. Now, those figures will change as lotteries like the one held today mean that another 185 marijuana dispensaries will soon be opening in Illinois.
It's going to be easier to get to the nearest store. Consumers are going to have more choice. And so, cannabis prices right now in Illinois are higher than pretty much anywhere else in the country. And prices result from, a bunch of different factors, including how much cannabis is grown and processed. But I think that having more stores is probably going to mean more competitive pricing for Illinois consumers.
And he says that competitive pricing will likely increase sales even more, especially because his research also found that right now, even with marijuana legal, the majority of cannabis users are still buying off the street market. Now, Illinois' slow rollout of legal dispensaries is in part intentional, but also because of mess ups in how the licenses for those coveted dispensaries were awarded. A major goal was to award licensees with an eye towards social equity. Kiana Hughes is a cannabis and social equity advocate who is trying to win one of those dispensary licenses and says what social equity means is using the licensing process as almost a sort of reparations for Black and brown people who were disproportionately hurt by the war on drugs.
We definitely make up the majority of the people who are in jail for cannabis arrests, cannabis convictions, and things of that nature. So when we talk about social equity, that is not to necessarily exclude our, non-minority counterparts, but that is definitely to say that, yeah, that is the legislative intent. The idea was to make whole the things that were lost, the things that were sacrificed.
Natasha Neptune also tried to win a state license to actually grow cannabis on the craft level, but her application was not a winner. Neptune is skeptical of this whole process and says relying on a lottery lacks credibility. These lotteries were done privately. Neptune says they should have been public.
The lack of transparency, do I really believe a lottery was held? I like to see it to believe it.
Now, as for those lucky applicants who did win licenses or still have a chance to do so, there's some talk that some are already wanting to sell them, likely to big businesses that operate in a bunch of states. Those are known as MSOs. Neptune calls these multi-state operators piranhas.
Well, I thought people like me had a chance. And it just seems like it's going to be more of the MSOs just buying up these licenses from so-called awardees or people who were assigned these licenses.
the buying and selling of licensing. Well, some have to wait, but really that's all totally legal. But Neptune says that runs counter to the law's social equity intent.
There's no safeguards in place for these licenses to be even held to social equity standards. And that just kind of went over, it just didn't get addressed. So now what's going to happen? People are going to get these so-called conditional licenses. People are going to probably most likely sell them to MSOs. And here we go again.
Kiana Hughes, however, says it is just fine by her if those who win a state license then auction it off really to the highest bidder. She says that not everyone wants to actually run a dispensary or cannabis business.
This is life-changing money. And I personally am not of the opinion that we should dictate how we go about, managing that. Once you win the license, listen, you put in the work, you do with it as you will.
She says Illinois' Black and brown communities would benefit either way. If a social equity applicant does sell a license, probably for big bucks, that money will go back into their communities and neighborhoods, she says. Now, Hughes has a few more chances to win a dispensary license. She's got a couple of applications in for the one lottery still scheduled. So you have 55 licenses awarded earlier this month, and then another 55 today. August 19th, another 75 dispensary licenses will be selected by the state. At least that's as long as everything goes as planned. This whole process, again, mired in a lot of controversy, scoring questions, and lawsuits. One lawsuit still outstanding that could further delay the process. There's a hearing set for that on Monday. Paris, back to you.